Good evening, guys, and happy Wednesday to all of your sunshiny faces. Well, guys, I'm getting ready to go take a shower and get to bed, but there has been more drama in the weather. Today, I told you guys how yesterday they had like a forum for our cities, like elected officials. They had it was like 3 hours yesterday, and so we went to that, and when we were leaving, I was like, oh wow, it's so nice out, and I was wearing like a 3/4 sleeve shirt, and this was even like, again too, at night that we were like leaving, like the sun had already like kind of, I think the sun had set by that point, and you know, I was wearing like capris and stuff like that, and I was like, it's just so nice out. Well, then today, it was like not too bad, like I think earlier in the day, but it was like raining like all day. And then I noticed too, like I took the dogs out around 3 o'clock, I think. It was like starting to get kind of cool. It is currently snowing outside. So, like I heard like the ice, like it might just be freezing rain, but I did see in the forecast that we were supposed to get snow. So it wouldn't surprise me if it is. And, like it has been snowing, or at least there's like flurries kind of, at least, even if nothing's really sticking. But I just think that that is hilarious how, like, again, 2 days ago or 3 days ago or whatever it was, on Sunday it was snowing. And then it warmed up so much on Monday, it wasn't snowing. Yesterday was warm, then today it was warm earlier in the day, and then it snows again. But it looks like for the foreseeable future it's gonna be in like the 50s and 40s, so we're not gonna get any really nice days where it's like 60s and 70s and almost 80 like it has been. But I mean, it's March still. I'm not really expecting that. I'm just expecting it to maybe be a little bit warmer. Like, again, I guess 40s and 50s is pretty like understandable, I guess, or like expected for like this time of year, sort of. So, and like in our area and everything like that. So again, I'm not super mad about it, but I do kind of like that it was like getting so nice and warm, and now it's kind of going back to being cold and snowy and like that kind of stuff. So yeah, but today what we had going on was the contractor that we are having do, well, we had do like all the stuff for the most part down here so far. Like they did the drywall patchwork that was in here. They redid the floors, resanded and refinished them and everything like that. We are having them paint the kitchen and hallway area and everything like that. And we are also having them put down new flooring in both the hallway, living room, and in the kitchen and in the living room. But we're not painting the living room, at least not yet. We might have them paint, or we might do it ourselves. But the living room is kind of its own beast a little bit. We realized we don't really have enough space right now, and so like with everything else too, and like, I mean, we haven't had enough room really while we've been doing all these projects. We've been in a tight squeeze. But to I guess sort of evacuate everything out of the kitchen and living room, the problem is that because it's big furniture, like the couches and stuff like that, we can't make them smaller, if that makes sense. Like, again, my bed can come apart and can, you know, again, come apart into pieces, and then we just have to store a few pieces, you know. I mean, it's a big piece of furniture, but that's like the biggest piece of furniture. I didn't have a dresser or any of the other stuff before I moved in here anyway. That was all like bought after the fact. And then like Jack too, he has like his bed and he has like his dresser. That was pretty much it, like for the most part. So again, when we were moving rooms and like doing all of the other stuff, you know, and things like that around in the house, we've just, you know, we've been able to, I guess, move the furniture, like put things in the garage for a little while like, you know, again, stuff was going on. But with the living room, like even our table, it has a leaf in it, so like the table can actually come apart too. I don't know if like the legs do and everything like that, but I know that like that does at least, so you can kind of make it smaller. But like, again too, couches and stuff like that, you can't make them smaller. You know, it's a full-size couch, and we can't, you know, it's not like a sectional, you know, where we can like take things apart and then store them in different spaces. And again too, because it's such big furniture, like even some of it's kind of hard to get in through doorways to then get back out. And we don't have enough space in any of the rooms currently where like we can store a 3-seat sofa kind of thing. So we ended up renting a pod because even too, like putting it out in the garage is doable, but it's still not going to be that easy. Just because too of the volume of stuff that is kind of in the living room as well, which is funny because you'd think that when we were doing the projects upstairs and things like that, there would have been like, you know, taking everything out, because I mean we re-drywalled and refinished that whole upstairs, but when we did that it would have kind of made more sense if like we wouldn't need a pod for that or something like that, you know, or like one of those like storage unit kind of things that you can rent. So it again too, like that would have made more sense, but there actually wasn't that much stuff that was up there. There was a couch that we were actually getting rid of anyway, like Jack's furniture, but that came with him whenever he was like in a different room, which he was in most of the rooms down here for that period of time while we were doing all the project stuff upstairs, like last summer, or yeah, it was last summer, 2 summers ago. So you know, like again, like all of that stuff, like it makes more sense, but like we didn't need it at that time. But because this is all such big furniture, we can't really, again, to like break it down like I was saying, or really like store it anywhere as well. And like, to be honest, to store, like, you know, again, I put my bed outside, but I would have not been comfortable storing my mattress out in the garage, you know, like I feel like fabrics being out in the garage, like they absorb certain smells sometimes, like that kind of stuff. So like, I don't know, me personally too, I wouldn't be comfortable with that, like putting, you know, and storing that kind of stuff out in the garage where you keep other like chemicals and paints and, you know, like that kind of stuff. Like if I got paint on the frame of my bed, I could just repaint it. If I got on my mattress, that's a whole different story. Or like I said, something else like got on it or whatever, like that's where you put your head at night, you know, the kind of thing. Like I wouldn't have been comfortable with that. And it's the same kind of thing with the couch too. It's like, you might not want to really store it out in the garage. And like I said, some people's garage, you know, they use the space differently, but like even too, like if you keep your car out there, it's still kind of weird to just like keep your couch and your sofas and stuff like that out there too. But we were renting, like I said, one of those pods to store everything from the kitchen and living room. And because we're doing it all at the same time, because again too, I think it's like a little bit cheaper to do it when they can do all the project stuff at the same time. But they're starting with the painting first, so since we're not doing the living room, we're gonna wait until, I think it's, the pod's supposed to be delivered on Monday, which is when they're coming to come and do this stuff. But again, they're doing the painting though, hallway and kitchen, and the living room won't really be touched, so we have time to actually get things moved out there. And again, it's mostly just like a lot of the big furniture stuff that has to be done, but they're gonna be getting all new floors in that whole space, which the kitchen and hallway definitely need it, because the tiles that we put down when we were in lockdown, we like redid the kitchen and we put new tiles down and stuff like that, but they were such cheap tiles that they can't have like all started peeling and cracking and stuff like that. So we need that to be replaced. And the living room does have hardwood floors, like the original hardwood floors like my room has, but because it's the living room and it's like the main traffic area, the floors are really, I mean, it would cost probably a lot more money to try and like, you know, salvage them than just getting new floor to go over them. So that is why the other rooms were pretty good, and they just kind of needed like a you know, like just sanding and refinishing. The living room floors would need to have like fully be, you know, like again, like extended, you know, work be done on them to like save them. So that's what my parents decided they were going to end up doing with it. And you know, and again, the kitchen and living room and stuff like that in the hallway. But we had the contractor came over today to kind of finalize everything with it. But anyways, I'm gonna get into the shower now and get to bed, but I will see you guys in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.